Just wait for the mic if you wouldn't mind.
We're in the same boat, lack of resources, but we do check the licence of all plumbers that we come across, and when we do inspections. But we solely act on complaints from plumbers or the customers.
I'll add something on that for you. How often do you read one? How often do you read the local newspapers that the handyman advertising for plumbing work and recommend handyman up and do something about that? Because I can show you every week on the north side we get about 3 local papers and it's full of handyman advertising for plumbing work, full of plumbing and available with no licence, which is filed or something like that. You've got to be, still the shed to get the whole advertising. That's what people work.
I don't know what the outcomes are, but the BSA do some checking of those papers. Whilst we advocate to get ourselves out of the BSA, I do have a relationship with the staff over there, and they are quite responsive when we contact them with complaints. It takes them a while, but they do follow up and give us feedback. It's not a perfect world, but for the members of the association, if you identify there's a problem that you think needs to be investigated, we will act on your behalf. If you contact us, we will take the information to the local council, to the BSA or to the PIC, and we will ask for them to follow up. There is no magic wand, but what we will do is we will act, and we will wait, and we will get a response, and we'll give you the feedback. And gradually, over time, some of those guys who are doing the wrong thing will get caught out and they'll change. Any next question?
Chamber Matt, the reflux valves. This question is for Chris and Marie. Obviously, I'm reasonably happy about the proposed changes. Over the last month or so, I've had hundreds, if not more, calls, hundreds upon hundreds of problems with sewerage surcharge, with damage caused by flooding through stormwater, sewerage, effluent coming back up through floor waste covers. This is becoming commonplace. How, if at all, is this going to be regulated and or enforced?
Well, with Queensland Utilities, as I said, they're doing a report, so we're going to go through the properties that were affected that way. With regards to stormwater, that's our biggest concern because it's not called up on the plumbing, it's called up on the building. Out of the report that I've seen through council, almost 70% of all the flood damage that came through the stormwater system. So it's a case that we can put forward to say that stormwater should be regulated and we need to get people looking at it a bit closer. How you police it, I think, like if we have areas where they have had sewage surcharge, we can put notices in place. We have done that in Brisbane. We've done over probably 20 properties now where we've turned around and given them a notice saying, due to the fact they're in a certain area, that they have to put a reflux valve in. QU will, in some situations, come in and actually put them in. They're a little bit reluctant in some properties because what you can do is put a reflux valve on one property and all it does is move the problem to the next one. We're talking affected homes just in the Bayside area over 3,000. So they don't have obviously the money to go and do 3,000 homes. But if you're in that area, you obviously have to do just sort of search and do your searches and go through. The Act does say, in the Plumbing and Drainage Act, that the owner of the property must maintain their plumbing and drainage, and it's also been tested that they must also put measures in place to protect their property as well. It could be a good argument to say, if you're in those areas and you're highlighted to be in those areas, that you have to put measures in place to protect it. Insurance companies are getting heavily involved now. There are a number of insurance companies that are turning around to homeowners and saying, we're not going to insure you unless you put a reflux valve on. And that's already happened about on 30 properties already in the floods. We've had people ring up and say our insurance company won't give us insurance unless we put one in. So insurance companies, I think, are going to be the biggest driver policing that because they're going to start turning around and saying, what measures have you put in place to protect your property? And if you said, well, none, they're going to say, well, you've got to put a reflux valve in. So that's where basically we're going to see a lot of change in relation to those issues. Thanks.
Yeah, hi, I'm Smith. This is just Chris. Electronic lodgement, are we going to get one point of call and how far away?
Yeah, with the electronic lodgement, basically what will happen is being operated through Department of Infrastructure and Planning. You will be able to one port of call, you will actually electronically lodge it straight through to the local council, and then that file will be your access. So you'll be able to go to that one point all the time. Council will then do their assessment from internally, and we'll be able to electronically provide that information back to you.
So is that across all councils, just you go one point on the net, lodge it form with individual councils?
No, the individual councils. Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
It's individual councils, but at the moment we're just waiting to see how it's going to pan out, whether we're going to be the portal or not. So I'm not quite sure whether the portal is going to become to debt and then you put in the council and then it gets sent off, or whether it's just going to be fixed up. I think it's going to be fixed up to the individual council. So you can basically get onto the website and you go to that council, and that's where you'll go to lodge it. You'll click on it and it'll have e-plumbing. Same as you have like e-planning, smart EDO, there will be e-plumbing, and they will be able to lodge it through that directly to that council without the need for you to go in. There's payment on there as well. So if there's payment for fees, it will come up with the fees and you'll be able to pay the fees online.
Tony Woodall, Polly, yes. Just touching on the responsibility of, say, insurance companies helping with the reflux sales. So I'd like to see insurance companies be held more responsible in relation to the handyman issue, because a lot of work that is actually covered, a lot of faults that are covered by insurance are actually faulty plumbing that was not done by what the personnel was stuck with. So it frustrates me every time I go in to have a look at a problem that's occurred, only to find that the plumbing's obviously been sat down and taken rails by somebody who's not fault licensed, and yet the insurance companies will still cover the damage that is incurred by the problem.
I can tell you that that's not 100% the case. We actually get engaged by insurance companies to go out and do investigations on properties that have had sewage surcharge. The main reason they want us to go out there is to find out whether or not they've had any illegal fixtures installed or the ORG was compliant. We had one particular property where the ORG, the house was 40 years old and the riser on the ORG was PVC, so we knew it was been modified because it should have been VC. The owner turned around and said, well, I bought the house 3 years ago. The insurance company turned around to us and said, what's your findings? And we said, well, the ORG riser had been modified. You could actually see the original level of the concrete where the ORG was, and they'd actually raised it up quite significantly. So that insurance company did not pay out on that claim because the ORG was illegally modified, and the owners were not extremely happy at all. So they are getting really serious about the insurance companies, and as I said, they're actually using council as a vehicle to go in and grab the evidence to turn around the owners and say, you've got illegal fixtures. We had another one that was at Mankravat. The guy put a toilet in the basement legally by himself, flooded his entire basement with sewage when they were cleaning the sewer main, and the insurance company did not pay out because it was a legal fixture installed. Yep.